What's going on, guys? We're back with another portfolio and market update. I did the Casper video 2 weeks ago, and today we're doing a 2-week portfolio and market update, so get ready. What happened on the market over the past 2 weeks? Well, Bitcoin nearly broke all-time highs, retraced 15% and then broke straight through it. Elon Musk is suing OpenAI and Sam Altman. Coinbase went down, and at the same time it got upgraded from sell to neutral by Goldman Sachs. The amount of Bitcoin on exchanges continues to go down. The SEC didn't allow options trading on Blackrock's Bitcoin ETF. Bank of America and Wells Fargo are going to offer Bitcoin ETFs to their clients. Ethereum Dencun's update is coming closer and closer. SHIDO token plummets 94%, and I have another new token in my portfolio. We're going to cover all of this and much more, but before we get to any of that, guys, please, for me, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and click that noti bell. Now let's get into the video. Okay, guys, we're going to start with Bitcoin, and as you can see, it went all the way up to 68k on 5th of March last week, and as soon as it tested the all-time high, it had a 15% retracement all the way down to 61k, and I'll explain exactly why this happened. If we come across over here on bitcoin.com, you can see that this article says that the mega whale resurfaces 1,000 vintage bitcoins from 2010 moved as Bitcoin peaked at $69,210. Now, as the bull market continues, we are going to start seeing more and more of these whales coming in and selling a percentage of their Bitcoin portfolio. And at some point, one of these dumps is probably going to cause the market to crash, but we're not there yet, because what did Bitcoin do? Well, Bitcoin didn't care. As soon as it retraced, it started going back up, and it's now sitting at a new all-time high of 72k. Now, unfortunately, my portfolio hasn't really done that much during the past 2 weeks. It kind of peaked at 102, 103k, and it's just been moving steadily ever since. On the 5th, however, my portfolio did see a massive dump all the way down to 89k, and of course, this is because of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin dumps, my portfolio will dump, and this is going to happen again and again throughout the bull market. Bitcoin will dump 15%, my portfolio will dump even more because it's in altcoins. It's not in Bitcoin, it's not in Ethereum, it's not in the big daddy coins, it's in altcoins and small cap coins. And whenever Bitcoin dumps 15%, altcoins dump 30, 40, 50%. So this is normal and it's going to continue happening. But whatever you do, don't panic, and for the love of God, do not sell. There will be a time to sell, but that time is not now. Now, I did tell you guys that I bought a new coin, and this is Hemule, Vitalik's cat. And if you do want to stay up to date with what I'm buying or selling, just follow me on Twitter at Alex Yanokov. This is where I post my trades as they happen. As you can see, sold 1k of ML for 1k of Hemule, Vitalik's cat. It's time to get on the cat meme train. Now, a little bit more about Hemule. The market cap is 68 million, and I've only invested £1,000, and the reason why is because I am planning to invest a lot more. However, in the past month, the token has gone 37x up. So I was a little bit skeptical about investing right now. That is why I decided to put only 20% of what I originally planned to invest into this meme coin. Just so if it does continue to go up, I don't feel FOMO. And if you compare it to an equivalent meme coin, for example, Myro, which is Solana's founder's dog, you can see that the market cap of this meme is 334 million. So yes, Hemule does have a lot more room to grow, and I just don't want to miss this opportunity. However, I am being skeptical, and I would rather put the rest of my allocation when it has its first major retracement. I would probably be looking to put some more money in at around 0.03 or 0.02. And the reason why I chose this meme is simply because it's the first and only founder's pet meme traded by the founder. So yes, Vitalik trades Hemule for charity donations. And if we go over to Arkham, where we can find Vitalik's address and see what coins he's holding, of course he's a millionaire, and of course he holds most of his wealth in ETH. But if we scroll down, we can see that he also holds Hemule. And although it's a very small allocation for Vitalik, we can see that he knows that the token exists and he holds it as part of his portfolio. This is the one and only trade I've done over the past 2 weeks. For the rest of the time, I've just been holding. I am looking at a few other meme coins to buy. However, right now, in my opinion, memes are slightly overbought, and I would rather buy at cheaper levels. Okay, that's enough about my portfolio. Now let's see how the Bitcoin ETFs performed this week. Straight away, we can see 2.2 billion inflows, which means the demand is still there. However, we did have a negative day this week, but at the same time, the week before that, we had the highest inflows in one single day. $754 million went into these Bitcoin ETFs. Okay, now let's get into some news. US added 275k jobs in February. Unemployment rate unexpectedly rose to 3.9%. Okay, so this is bad news, which is good news. And the reason why it's also good news is because although unemployment rate increases, which is really bad for the economy and for the people of America, it's actually very good for investors, especially in risky assets. And I'll tell you why. You see, if the unemployment rate goes up to a high enough level, the Fed will be forced to cut rates because they don't want to cause a recession. And high unemployment rate means more risk of recession. So yes, bad for the economy, bad for the people of America, but good for investors, especially in risky assets. Right, moving on to the next one. Elon Musk sues OpenAI Sam Altman for abandoning founding mission. The lawsuit that Musk filed late on Thursday claims that Greg Brockman, one of OpenAI's co-founders, pitched the company to Musk as an open source non-profit company. This comes less than a month after it was reported by the Financial Times that OpenAI is on track to hit an annual $2 billion revenue, according to December 2023 data. You see, this is when the investment contract, which is something that we talked about 2 weeks ago. If you didn't watch the video, go and watch it. This is when the investment contract comes into play. If somebody pitches you a company as a non-profit, and that is one of the reasons why you invested in that company, but then failed to do what they claimed they're going to do, you have the right to sue. It's a breach of your investment contract. The complaint specifically takes issue with the fact that in 2023, OpenAI decided to keep the design of GPT-4 a secret and entered into exclusive licensing agreement with Microsoft, essentially turning OpenAI into a closed-source, profit-driven entity contrary to its founding principles, according to Elon Musk. This is a breach of the shareholders' agreement between Elon and OpenAI. And now I'm just going to show you something. Elon Musk says he will drop the lawsuit if OpenAI changes its name to Closed AI. This guy. Okay, next one. Coinbase users report zero balance bug as Bitcoin price taps 64k. Now, this is very important. Usually we see these kind of bugs when they have a massive inflow of retail customers. And you know that if retail comes into the market, it's time to sell. However, I'm going to tell you why it's not that time yet. You see, back at the 2021 highs, Coinbase was actually number 1 on the App Store. And what rank is it right now? Well, it's rank 156. And although it's 156 now, it did move to rank 44 on 5th of March. There it is right here. Rank 44, all apps on 5th of March, 8 a.m. And this right here, guys, is a Coinbase app rank bot, which basically tells you what rank Coinbase is 2 times during the day. Once at 8 a.m. and once at 8 p.m. If you want to, you can follow the bot and receive the notifications. But if not, check this video right there and you'll see exactly how to check at what rank Coinbase is at any given point, just from your phone. I have an iPhone, that's exactly why I'm showing you how to do this from the App Store. But if you have an Android, I'm sure you can somehow check on Google Play as well. Okay, moving on to the next one. Coinbase upgraded to neutral as Goldman Sachs ends bearish stance. The bank lifted its rating on the stock after Bitcoin hit records high and the crypto exchange's trading volume reached levels not seen since 2021. Now again, what does that tell you? Retail is coming to the market. Retail is coming. As Bitcoin hit new highs above 67,000, data shows Coinbase daily volumes in the 3 billion to 5 billion range. And the bank's analysis shows that much of it has been driven by increased retail participation, which fundamentally comes in at much more attractive take rates for coin. At this point, it just seems inevitable that we'll continue going up. Bitcoin's in price discovery, and this is exactly when retail starts to come back in. Right now, we're just seeing history repeat itself. This is exactly what happened in 2021 when Bitcoin broke all-time highs. Bitcoin goes on retail customers' radar when it breaks all-time highs. That's what's happening. Okay, next article. Bitcoin is unlikely to match gold's allocation in investors' portfolio in nominal terms, JP Morgan. Okay, this is an interesting claim. Let's see why they think so. Bitcoin is 3.7 times more volatile than gold. If crypto were to match gold in risk capital terms, it implies a price of 45k. The net inflow in spot Bitcoin ETFs is about 9 billion. The rest of the article goes on to say how Bitcoin is 3.7 times more volatile than gold. Therefore, investors are unlikely to allocate to Bitcoin as much as they allocate to gold. Okay, that's a reasonable claim. However, then JP Morgan go on to say that Bitcoin price could drop towards 42,000 after April halving. If they had any idea of how Bitcoin mining works, they probably wouldn't have said that, especially with the coming bull run projected in 2025, starting even earlier in 2024. Next article is about Blackrock, and it plans to purchase spot Bitcoin ETFs for its global allocation fund. But JP Morgan says it's going to go down to 42k. Yeah, sure, JP Morgan, whatever. BlackRock plans to buy its own spot Bitcoin ETFs as well as other Bitcoin ETFs with its global allocation fund, which holds assets close to 18 billion. And not only that, But earlier this week, BlackRock also filed to incorporate spot Bitcoin ETFs into its Strategic Income Opportunities Fund, which holds over 36.7 billion. But yeah, JP Morgan says it's going to go down to 42k. Sure, JP Morgan. And over here, we've got the balance of Bitcoin on centralized and decentralized exchanges. And we can see that this balance has been coming down quite a lot. Total balance is 1.8 million. And we can see that over the past 30 days, it's gone down 58k, which is roughly around 4%. And remember, retail is not in, big banks are not in. When all of them come in, the demand for Bitcoin will go exponentially higher. Right now, we just have 10 ETFs. And what's also important is the open interest. And we can see that as Bitcoin goes higher, the open interest also goes higher, which means that people are starting to use even more leverage in their positions. Now, this is sustainable in a full-on bull market. However, it is not as sustainable if this is not the bull market. And if that's the case, we are due a correction, and a pretty high correction at that. So slightly scary, but given the demand we're seeing from Bitcoin ETFs, the correction is probably not going to come just yet. On to the next article. SEC punts on BlackRock Bitcoin ETF options trading. The regulator said it will render its decision at the end of April. The Securities and Exchange Commission has delayed deciding whether to allow options trading on BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust. I guess no options trading for BlackRock just yet, but is this Bitcoin bull market early? Here's what the data says about timing the top. The bull market is well underway, but blockchain analysts say Bitcoin's price could still rise 4x from here. Let's dive in and find out why. The on-chain analytics platform CryptoQuant, the company that's making this statement, relies on Bitcoin's MVRV ratio as an effective metric for gauging Bitcoin bull and bear markets. The ratio compares Bitcoin's market cap to realized cap, the sum value of all coins at the time they were last sold. Essentially, what the MVRV ratio does is it tracks the last time a Bitcoin was sold and how much profit that investor is sitting on. And of course, the higher the profit, the higher the risk of investors selling Bitcoin on the open market. Now, if we go over here on CryptoQuant's website, we can see that when the ratio is below 1, that indicates a bear market. And when it's above 3.7, it indicates a bull market. We're currently sitting at 2, so we're nowhere near bull run territory. Okay, on to the next one. Justin, Arizona Senate considers adding spot Bitcoin ETFs to the state retirement portfolio. I've been telling you for a while now, it's over. Bitcoin is going to be in your pension fund. In your mom's pension fund, in your parents' pension fund, and in your grandparents' pension fund. And you won't even know it. Guys, make sure you're following me on Twitter at Alex Yanakov. I have a lot of valuable information to share with you on there. Next one, US government now owns 12 billion worth of Bitcoin. Here's why. In the last decade, the US has seized tens of thousands of Bitcoin from several criminal enterprises, most notably the dark web marketplace Silk Road and the hackers who stole billions of dollars worth of digital assets from crypto exchange Bitfinex in 2016. As of writing, the American government possesses over 194,000 Bitcoin according to on-chain wallet data compiled by Asset Management from 21.co. And JP Morgan is telling you that Bitcoin is going to go down to 42k. Sure. Now I'm going to show you something, and this is a website called Arkham Intelligence, where you can track anyone's wallet and see what tokens they're holding. And what have I gone and done? I found the US government's wallet. And as you can see, the numbers roughly aligned. The article said that they hold 194,000 and they actually hold 215,000. So it appears that the US government is also a Bitcoin whale. I've always said, watch what they do, not what they say. Next article. Bank of America, Wells Fargo to offer spot Bitcoin ETFs to clients. CoinDesk reported on Wednesday that another Wall Street giant, Morgan Stanley, might soon offer its clients exposure to the new products as well. Watch what they do, not what they say. But yeah, JP Morgan says it's going to go down to 42k. Sure, JP Morgan, sure. Right, this is an article about Ethereum's Dencun Upgrade. And as you all know, it's coming on the 13th of March. So let's dive in and find out exactly what changes are going to happen. The upcoming Ethereum Dencun hard fork upgrade is set to be deployed on the mainnet on March 13th. This upgrade will prioritize scalability, efficiency, and security through various Ethereum improvement proposals, notably EIP 4844 for proto-dank sharding. This proposal aims to optimize gas fees and enhance network scalability. Significance of EIP 4844 for proto-dank sharding. EIP 4844 prototype sharding aims to significantly enhance the network scalability by introducing temporary data blobs attached to blocks. This innovation reduces processing costs and increases throughput by temporary data blobs, lower processing costs, increased throughput, facilitating layer 2 solutions. Essentially what this means is the speed of transactions on layer 2s and the cost of these transactions, or the fees, will drastically decrease. And some will even decrease as much as 10x, like Arbitrum and Optimism. The reason why is because these layer 2s bundle up transactions themselves. So essentially what you get is a bundle of transactions goes into another bundle of transactions, which then goes into the Ethereum network. This is a significant upgrade for Ethereum because at last year's bull run, Ethereum transactions went as high as $200, $300, $400, $500, even for layer 2s. However, now we've got a solution. We have the Dencun Upgrade, which will drastically decrease these transaction fees and essentially make Ethereum much more scalable, which will allow for a much faster retail adoption. Okay, moving on. CFTC chair warns of conflict with SEC over Prometheum's ETH play. SEC registered broker Prometheum could force the agency to decide if Ether is a security, and CFTC chair Rostin Benham says that could lead to conflicting rules. Now stay with me. CFTC chair Rostin Benham, CFTC is Commodity Futures Trading Commission, testified and said that Ethereum is a commodity. The SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, has neither agreed or disagreed with that statement. However, Prometheum, which is an exchange registered with the SEC, is about to list Ethereum on its platform. If they list Ethereum and the SEC do nothing to stop them, that would mean that the SEC agrees that Ethereum is a security. The two agencies, the CFTC, Commodities Futures Trading Commission, and the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, will then go in direct conflict of rules. Now, Prometheum have said that this was an independent decision. This is an ongoing story and I will be covering it when I know more. Moving on to the next one. SHIDO token plummets 94% as exploiter drains Ethereum staking contract. An attacker was able to get control of SHIDO blockchain's Ethereum staking contract and transfer out billions of SHIDO tokens, according to PegShield. PegShield said the attacker had withdrawn 4.3 billion SHIDO tokens, nearly half of the almost 9 billion circulating token supply per CoinGecko data. Before the price drop, those tokens were worth around 35 million. Now, for those of you that don't know, back when SHIDO was first pumping, I actually bought some SHIDO tokens. However, I then did my research on the project and very quickly sold all of my tokens. And I'm going to explain to you why I did this right now. So if we go onto their website and go onto their About Us page, scroll down to the team, we can see that half of their team is undoxed. And the people that are doxed, if we go into their LinkedIn profiles, we can see that their profiles just look absolutely fake. Look at this, CEO and founder SHIDO Global, August 2021 until present. So this person has not had any other job apart from being a founder and a CEO of SHIDO. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's not just him. The COO and CFO, and same thing. He's been a chief operating officer at SHIDO Global from March 2022 till present. No other work experience. It just seems so scammy, so dodgy. That's why you always have to do your own research, guys. Make sure you do your own research. Look at the team, look at the narrative, look at the charts. And if something doesn't add up, don't invest into that project. Right, moving on to the last and final article. PlayStation goes crypto. Sony seeks patent for super fungible gaming tokens. We all know that this is bound to happen, guys. Elliot Trades has been saying this, Alex Becker has been saying this, I have been saying this. This just seems like the rational next step for Web2 games. And the reason why is because let's say you started playing a game. You bought a lot of items from the game, you put real life money into it. However, after some time, you're now bored of the game and you don't want to play it anymore. But you've invested all this money and you don't want it to just go to waste. In the Web2 world, you just have to accept that loss and move on with your life. But in the Web3 world, you don't. And that's because you can sell valuable items that you've paid for or have come to your possession from playing the game as NFTs. It's that simple. However, this coming from PlayStation and not just a singular game is much, much bigger. Because this is not just a singular game. This is PlayStation itself trying to make this move from Web 2 to Web 3 games. All eyes on PlayStation and let's see where this move takes them. Okay guys, with this we're coming to the end of the video. If you like the information I provide, make sure you're subscribed and you're following me on Twitter at Alex Yanukov. Goodbye and see you in the next one.